Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
time it is. It's time for the loudest true crime channel to get started. I'm Bullhorn Betty. This is the Bullhorn Betty channel where we cover true crime. We don't really cover politics too much unless we're trying to advocate for law and policy changes, okay? This channel was created, I'm very much a political person, but my channel's my channel for true crime, and now why all of this is kind of colliding together, I don't know, but we're having a true crime political channel going on for the last few weeks because there's been a lot of political crime going on in our country. And just when we think we have an understanding of who or where it may be coming from, boom, we start having other attacks from different branches of different genres. For example, we were having a lot of left-wing, very, anti-fash, anti-ICE type of attacks. Now we're having these attacks from what they're trying to convince us as lone wolf military people. I'm not buying it, okay? We have had two people in our military lose their crap and just shoot up places. I'm not buying it. Something's going on behind the scenes. I do believe there is a puppet master. I do believe there's a puppet master, and we're going to get into all of that. But before we do, you guys know we have to start getting back to our normal rhythm of things, which means we're not diving right into the meat and potatoes. We've got to learn a little bit more about some other cases. We're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to learn about other cases, and then we're going to get back to this very, very meaty conversation because it's a conversation that needs to be had. Okay, I'm not buying lone wolf scenarios on either one of these things, the church or the bar. Okay, there's something going on here, and this isn't the first time either. Remember, we had something going on in Vegas, what was it, a year or 2 years ago with some military people coordinating? And I just want to say, this is my gift from, I know it's a little, I got my chroma key all messed up, but that's okay. It says, admit life would be boring without me. Admit it. Admit it. Life would be so boring without me. Even the hate channels wouldn't know what to do. All right. I mean, I'm loved. They may act like they don't love me, but they're my biggest fans, don't you know? Good morning, Seth. It's nice to see you. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. For all my beautiful people up in the chat. Let's see. Do we have any questions here? Let me get over here. I see we got a couple little people coming through here. I want to thank you guys very, very much. Hold on. It didn't do what I needed it to do. Give me a second. There we go. Now I can see out the green. Out the green. Melanie says, happy Monday, everyone. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Much love to you, Betty. All of you are the best. Aw, thank you. And Only M gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Only M thank you. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Oh, Michelle up in the house. Well, hello, love bug. I hope you are doing very, very, very well. All right, guys, so we've got a couple things that I think 3 little stories that we're going to go over beforehand. I know we have Panda Bear's mom, which is always rooting for her Devlin Tate out of Lake Odessa, Michigan. I didn't put that person up here because there's a couple other things. Right now we have, this is where I'm having problems. Like, there's a lot of things going on around our country that we're not even being told. Oh, why didn't it do that? That we're not even being told about. I should have fixed this, but apparently I didn't. So let me just get this all up in here. Sorry about that, guys. So here's another disturbing story here of, kind of an arson. This kind of happened, I think just yesterday as well, or at least it was just reported as of yesterday, and it's a Florida man charged with arson for setting a Chadbad classroom ablaze before Rosh Has whatever. I don't even know what that is. And it's apparently somebody has hatred for Jewish people and are trying to set fires. Now, guys, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I'm not buying that these things are not being coordinated. I'm not buying it. We've got a lot of stuff, weird stuff going on that's not being reported on smaller scales than what we know. Here's a prime example. Nobody ever heard about this yesterday. Nobody even heard about this. So I thought it was interesting. I also wanted to bring your attention to this next case because I don't know what I'm going to do with this case. This case here is definitely bizarre. It's a case that definitely does need some attention to it and upon it. This is a missing mom and her 3-year-old daughter were found both deceased over 100 miles away from their home. It's no doubtedly somebody that they know, of course. I don't know. I didn't read far enough in here to find out if they had somebody arrested, but I would assume if somebody was arrested, it would have been in the title of this. So I have to only add to this particular case. I'm not going to go through it. I'm just going to show you their faces. If you have any information, please reach out to your local law enforcement. Here is the article if you would like to read it for yourself. There you go. But this is a very strange case where if you have people, a child and a mother that far away, it tells me that it's somebody that they know. It's not somebody that's just a random person, in my opinion. Because they wanted them so far away out of Dodge that they couldn't be pinned. It couldn't be pinned on them. At least that's how I always look at these type of cases. But it looks like a very loving mom. Look at that. A loving mom and her beautiful baby. They didn't deserve to lose their life. So if you have any information, please reach out to your local law enforcement. This woman and her daughter were missing from Mississippi, and they were found in Alabama. And of course, we're learning some new information about, some people here have talked about this case in my chat. This is that rapper, David, and there is a girlfriend named Celeste that is found in his car, deceased. There's been some information that's been disturbing, like even as far as dismemberment type of stuff going on. And I don't know where that is all coming from, but I did read into it, and it does sound like that some people are alleging that there's some things going on with her. And then I found out that maybe it's not dismemberment, but it sounds like she had a lot of plastic surgery at only 14 years old, the Celeste girl. Breast augmentations, butt implants, some other type of things. It sounded like she had some fluid on her brain, which could be a direct result of some of those procedures she had done. Is it the procedures that she lost her life? I don't know. I don't know what doctor would do these type of procedures on a 14-year-old girl without the consent of their parents. But you know what? This is why it's been very bothersome to hear that governments are trying to strip parents away from their parental consent. Because listen, parents are responsible for their children and the health and well-being of their children. And if for any reason a 14-year-old daughter or child can go in and get breast augmentations and butt implants without the consent of their parents, we've got some major problems going on in this country. There is no possibility of that being okay in my world, okay? Because if this child is deceased from this plastic surgery, think about it. Her parents were responsible for keeping her safe and probably would have said no to this type of surgery. So if this was done without the consent of the parents and this type of surgery required consent of the parents, that doctor needs to be in jail. You guys will find out. I say jail a lot on this channel because I think people need to be thrown in jail. I think that this idea that there's two tiers of justice in this country, I find appalling. I know that when I break the law, I go to jail. Even when I don't break the law. You guys watch me go to jail when I didn't break the law. When I did absolutely nothing wrong. But you know what? You go down, you do the perp walk, you do whatever you got to do, you get to the other side. You know, you don't make your situation worse. But at the end of the day, when I see crimes committed on our children, and I think a 14-year-old child getting breast implants and a butt implant is ridiculous. You don't know how your breasts are gonna eventually adjust. You don't know how your butt is going. Like, there's a lot of changes in this time frame that women go through. Okay? A lot of changes in the body where those implants may be off because of the changes in the body. And I mean any doctor that does plastic surgery would know this, because I've discussed these things with plastic surgeons. This is not a good idea. I don't know who they could have paid to do this, but there are not a lot of plastic surgeons willing to do this on a child of that age. There are a few, and there are a few reasons that they would do it, and none of it necessarily has to do with, you know, having a bigger boobs and a bigger butt. You know, it's usually medically necessary for disfigurement purposes. You know, a child that has been disfigured, or you know, a breast is not developing normally as compared to the other breast. You know, those are things that could really have a lot of self-conscious issues with such a younger girl. And, you know, parents may decide that, yes, we need to go in there and do some cosmetic surgery on that other breast because the breast is deformed or not growing at the same pace the other breast is. So there are medical reasons that young children would need these types of procedures. She allegedly had, come on, I've looked at her face. There's no, I'm sorry. Even when she has makeup on, I can see a young girl, okay? You know, we can play tit for tat if we need to, but listen, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that particular doctor did not know who he was working on. Doctors know bone development. Doctors know widths of pelvis. Doctors know ages based on bone and teeth. I mean, pretty much like any good veterinarian. I have to bring it down to animals. It drives people nuts, and people make fun of me for, you know, human beings are not animals. I get they're not animals, but you know what? I've got a dog here, okay? I usually speak from places of experience, okay? So, in order for me to speak from a place of experience, I have to talk about recent experience. You guys are going to be laughing at me if I talk to you about something that happened 20 years ago, no? Okay, well, let me give you guys a little example. You take a dog to a veterinarian. You find a dog on the side of the road. What is the one thing they're going to do? They're going to open the mouth and look at the teeth, okay? Why? Because opening the mouth and looking at the teeth for a dog typically tells you around the age of a dog. Now, how would they know that? How can a poor little doctor, a veterinarian, open a dog's mouth and look at the teeth and just know that this dog is at this age range? It's because they are professionals, okay? They do this every single day. So don't tell me this doctor that's about to perform this surgery is looking at this child's mouth, head, and pelvic area for development and can't determine that this child is 14. I call bullshit. Okay? I call bullshit. I don't believe that. Doctors know what kind of patient they may question it. Now granted, if they're working on somebody 16, 17, 18 and they're like they're saying they're 19, okay, you might pass them through. But I'm sorry, I just don't see somebody being 13 and 14 being passed through, okay? They're too young. There's no way, no matter how much makeup you put on a 13-year-old, they're not going to look like an 18-year-old, okay? They just look like a young girl with a lot of makeup on. They may look older, I give them that, but I don't think it's going to pass for a freaking doctor. You know? I'm sorry, I just don't. But I digress. I could be wrong. I could be fully wrong. All right, guys. So that's just something, a side note that I'm curious about. Let me know what your thoughts are on this David Celeste, saga. My heart breaks that a young girl her age is dead, and not only that, we just found out she may have been deceased weeks before she was found. Weeks. So don't tell me this David guy did not know his girlfriend was missing for weeks. That he has no idea what's going on. I think David killed her? I saw the video of her running. They could have gotten in a fight. She had all that plastic surgery. She had fluid on the brain. Maybe they did get in an altercation, and because of those incidences, those things, maybe she did lose her life, and maybe he didn't mean to hurt her, but because of the fluid on her brain and the type of argument, where she may have fallen, hit her head, or something of that effect, might have killed her. And he may have thought, oh my God, I killed her, not realizing that, no, it's probably the surgery. They identified her having fluid on the brain. And that's when we started finding out about the breast augmentations, the butt lift, the Brazilian butt lift, or whatever it's called. It's just very, very, very problematic. The whole situation around Celeste is very problematic for me. But I also do not believe that her parents knew nothing. I think her parents knew that she was with this very, very wealthy guy. And I think that they probably encouraged her to be with this very, very wealthy guy. I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just, as an average Joe looking at this case, it seems like a lot of stuff was happening to her and for her, and there's no possibility that I can think that a parent didn't know anything. I mean, you're talking about surgeries, very, very painful surgeries. There is no way she's going to have her ass sliced and diced and her parents not know something's wrong with her. There's no way she could possibly have a breast augmentation without her parents knowing something is wrong with her. I'm sorry, I do not buy that her parents had no clue. And if I were to buy that, then her parents have some explaining to do about how in the world this all could happen without no knowledge from anybody knowing nothing. I'm sorry, you're talking about major surgeries here, okay? I don't know if you've had surgeries lately, but I don't recall any surgery I had that felt good, okay? I don't know of any surgery I popped up and was able to act like I didn't have surgery, okay? I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, my neck surgery, I was up. I felt a lot better than I did going in. I did make my bed, but I can tell you people knew I had a neck surgery. Okay, it's pretty stinking obvious. I just don't see, these are major operations. Many of you ladies out there have breast augmentations. You guys know how painful that those breast augmentations were, the healing process. Don't tell me a parent wouldn't have been able to see that going on. But again, I digress. These are just my theories, my opinions about this conversation. Was David involved? I look at, he doesn't look like a stone cold killer to me, but he does look like a controlling dude, with all the surgeries on her little poor body. Did they get into a fight and something happened and he panicked? Yeah, but that's still a crime. Okay. So, if that's the case, then he has some explaining to do, but I'm not buying he has no knowledge and his girlfriend's in his car, deceased, unless there is an avenue that people aren't really considering here, and that's him buying her that car and that being her car and her winding up deceased in her own car that just happens to be in his name. Yeah, I haven't heard people talk about that aspect of it, and if that's the case, is he involved, or is there another person involved, like, a secret lover that may have been stepping into David's space? The post-surgical complications hidden, yeah, but you know what? Now it comes down to, could it be the surgeon? Did she go to the surgeon with complications and she die right there on his table, and the surgeon loaded her up in her car and dropped her off somewhere and just left her? You know, I mean, I trust me, I go through a lot of different, nothing ever seems to amaze me. And trust me, truth is stranger than fiction. I don't feel like this is the UFO theory either, you know, just out of the realm of possibility type of theory. I really think this is a plausible theory because, you know, it would further support the fact that the surgeon would have known her age and knew what he was doing was wrong. But again, we won't know. All right, guys, for the meats and potatoes of the Bullhorn Betty channel, I just want to thank you for allowing me to bend your ear on a different topic of conversation. But the main topic of conversation for our show today is this all coordinated? Is this something, what are we looking at out there in the world right now? So we have been littered with a bunch of political violence for weeks. It just feels like we are under attack. We feel like the conservative movement, MAGA movement, the Christian, the faithful community, I don't want to say Christian, necessarily Christian, because I don't feel like this is just all-consuming Christianity. I think it's faith-driven hate. Faith-driven hate, you know, whether it be Judaism, you know, Buddhism, Christian, Catholic. I really don't. I think it's just faith that they're attacking. And so everything has really been identified as left-wing hate. Left wing, left wing, left wing. And for the first time in the last 2 days, you know, there's been some crazy stuff coming out of our military. And listen, I still think it's left wing. I really do. And it's not because I want it to be that. I mean, there is a piece of me, in all fairness, I don't ever want to think anybody that is a Republican, that is a true conservative part of the MAGA movement, would ever injure any religion, any child. You guys know how I feel about children. I don't care if the child's a jihad, okay? Children. You know me. I will die with my last breath trying to save a child. Okay? It's the children. For me, like, I'm here for the true crime and stuff like that, but I will stop everything for a child. I will stop everything for a child. When it comes to a child, there's probably not a whole lot that I wouldn't. I pull out all the stops for the children. Okay? And this is one that, you know, especially yesterday at the church, that it's been very highly disturbing. I do not believe this is MAGA. I do not believe this is a Republican. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't think anybody, and if it was, I mean, if we do have right-wing nuts over here, okay? I'm not disputing that. But we're not going to a place of faith. We're going to a mosque, okay? We have a problem with Islamic type of religion on this side of the aisle, okay? If you really want to know the truth about it. Again, I have no reason to lie. You either like it, don't like it. I really don't care. I mean, this is what it is. So, at the end of the day, our side would be more targeting the mosques and the Islamic faith than the Christian faith. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. And so hearing this and then finding out this is military at this juncture, because remember, I didn't really cover the North Carolina bar shooting. Okay? And this is where somebody rolled up on a boat and opened fire at a restaurant and just took out people that were just sitting there eating for no other reason than to execute them. He wasn't attempting to execute himself after it was said and done. It doesn't appear that his wife, ex-wife, girlfriend, or anything was anywhere in that crowd. It seems like a random act of pure violence. And he was busted, and come to find out it's military. Now, not only 12 hours, almost to the minute, 12 hours later, we've got another military person ramming a church, coming out of his vehicle like something out of a movie, shooting people up, and then setting fires, and we hear of IEDs, which are basically bomb-making explosive type of devices. Okay? That is scary to me. That shows you both of these attacks with both of these men that were in our military. On both events were coordinated and planned, premeditated. So 2 military guys had a plan completely different from one another that just happened to be executed at the same within 12 hours apart. I don't buy it. Okay? You know me. I always look at variables. I always look at possibilities. I'm always planning this stuff out. I'm playing the tape through, and every time I turn around, it seems too coincidental for me to buy as random lone shooter acts. There is a puppet master out here that is working a lot of different angles with a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds. We just went through our little rotation of engineers. We saw what the engineers can do. Now we're going through our rotation of military trained folks. Okay, somebody is setting these people off. Somebody is getting in their head many months or years in advance before this particular event, and I truly do believe that somebody is setting these people off to do these things, whether it's a key word after them being brainwashed online, or them just being convinced that this is going to make their life so much better, and they're bought into it. I don't know. I've never been brainwashed before. I don't know what it looks like. Okay? Only people that brainwash or have been brainwashed actually know what it looks like. I'm not one of those people, thank God. I'm too much of a stubborn person, and I fact find everything. I don't think I'd be a good candidate for brainwashing because I don't buy into the BS, right? I don't buy in the BS. You could tell me this stuff over and over and over and over and over again in my brain because that's what they did with COVID, trying to scare me. But you know what I did? Every time I saw those numbers, every time I heard that one of our hospitals was filled up, I got in my car and went to that hospital and videotaped out it. Where are all these dead people? Where are the body bags? Where are the ambulance nonstop coming through my hospital? I've been sitting out here for freaking an hour. I haven't seen the first ambulance come in. How are all these people just dying around me with no ambulances? Nobody coming to the hospital? Nobody going to the morgue? What the hell's going on here? It was a big old fat hoax. I did not buy into that crap either. So now we're dealing with this. So on September 28th at 10 p.m., we know that at North Carolina, a boat showed up on drove right up to the restaurant and just opened fire. And that was around 10 p.m. on September 28th. And by 10 a.m. on September 29th, we have another military person ramming a and that happened in Southport, North Carolina. The other, a peaceful Mormon church in Grand, and it says Grand, I'm usually, when I see B-L-A-N-C, I usually say Blanc. But I'm hearing the area is called Grand Blanc. I don't know how they pronunciate that, but I'm going to go with Grand Blanc because that's how I'm always said that particular spelling. So if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. But Grand Blanc, Michigan, both unprovoked, both executed by 40-year-old military veterans. Is this a coincidence? I'm throwing this out to my audience. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on here. Can I do a poll? Let me see if I can do a poll. Looks like I might be able to do a poll. Do you think these two events are... two events are coordinated? Doesn't mean that they were coordinated between the parties. Like, I don't think that this, but there's some, I feel like there's a puppet master. I'll just put it like that. Yes or no. There we go. Start the poll. So I just put a poll there. Before you guys answer the poll, please consider going out and hitting the thumbs up for this show, and then go over there and take the poll. Or is there a puppet master pulling strings? Like, this is where I'm coming in, where I'm saying, I really believe that all of this stuff is coordinated. I believe that Mangiones is coordinated. I think all of this is a one big puppet master. I think whatever has been executed on these young men, these young engineer minds, have also been executed in other areas, in other genres of the computer. Like, some might be anti-fascist, some might be anti, Muslim or Jewish, and I think that they're going in here, brainwashing some of these people, turning them into these defectors, and then giving them the key word to activate them. It sounds crazy, but it's not unheard of. If you've been in military, if you know how military works, especially secret military and stuff like that, you have sleeper cells and then you activate them. I feel like it's something along those lines that are going on in our country as a domestic, not international. Do I think that they're being done internationally? I do. I believe that there are foreign players in all of this. But I do believe even Tyler Robinson, I believe all of this is connected with a puppet master. I really do. I know they're different, but I still think they're the same. I mean, this is just too much, too coincidentally. Not everybody's going to be this in line. Okay? I mean, this has been going non-stop for weeks. Attack after attack after attack after attack after attack. Don't tell me these things aren't connected. You can say a lot of things, but don't tell me these things aren't connected. This has been going on for weeks. One right after another. Just when we think we're coming up for air and it's finally over and it's going to stay silent, next thing we know, we get another attack. And then another. Don't tell me these aren't connected. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. So we're going to compare the facts, spot patterns, and explore the theory head on. Stick with us for the next 2 hours. First, the basics. North Carolina, 3 dead, 5 injured. Michigan, when I put this together, 4 were dead, 8 injured, but I'm hearing we have at least 5 deceased in Michigan. I'm hearing 5 have succumbed. They found more bodies in the rubble. They are still working to uncover what happened. This church went up entirely. This was a huge church. Okay, for that whole entire church to be turned to rubble, I don't care what law enforcement says. I absolutely believe that there were some IEDs that were set off. I think some did not work properly, but I believe some did. I'm not buying that he was able to bring that entire church down to his knees with a can of gasoline. Okay? I mean, they're going to have to convince me a little more. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I'm not buying it right now. I'm just not. There's just too much going on. I think since Antifa has been deemed a terrorist group, they're trying to show grounds to have MAGA as the same. You know what? I get that. I think that's the military they're trying to smear, but I think we're going to find that these people do not really care about Donald Trump or our type of politics. They are too hateful. You'll find out very, very quickly. Our side's very, very religious. We we stick up for ourselves. You don't get us wrong. We're not pushovers, but we'd prefer following the law and using the court system as opposed to vigilante justice. And that's just the way we've all been. Betty, the church was a stake center, meaning more people gather there. Yeah. They're going to be hitting targets. They're going to be hitting soft targets. Not too many people go to church with a side piece, I would say if you're out and about this day and age, I don't care. If you have the ability to carry your gun, your firearm, please do, okay? Please do. We need more good guys with guns than bad guys with guns. And this day and age, I don't trust anybody, okay? I love law enforcement, but I don't even trust that they'll be there in time. Things happen literally in a split second. If you don't know how to use a firearm, get trained. Go pay for training, proper professional training, okay? There's nothing worse than being an untrained person with a firearm. You know what I call that? A very stupid person. Okay? I was very smart at a very young age that even when my mom was living alone and we were living with her, my mom wanted to bring, I know my mother, okay? My mom can be a Billy Badass, you know, with a baseball bat if need be, but I also know my mom is going to be very hesitant to take somebody's life, okay? To truly take somebody's life. My mom wanted that firearm to point at somebody and say, if you don't get out of my house, I'm going to pull the trigger. That's the worst kind of firearm owner you can possibly be, okay? Because when you need to use your firearm, you have that long to make a decision. That's it. When you raise that gun, you better be ready to fire that gun. If you're using it for a prop, you are turning that gun directly onto you. You are a fool to have that in your home, because at the end of the day, you do not pull that out unless you are willing to fire that off. That means take somebody's life. That means your life is in such a jeopardy that you're willing to take somebody's life. That's lawful defense, okay? That's lawful defense. But my mom brought it in. I know my mom. We were 15, I was 15, 14 or 15, something like that. And she told us, and I told my mom, get it out of the house. You guys know how much of a 2A person I am. But I told my mom to get it out of the house. And when she asked why, it's because I know she's never going to be able to use it and injure somebody like that. So now she just brought in a loaded gun to be used on all of us. That's the way I looked at it. I had that kind of forethought and common sense way back then. You could ask my mom. This is a true story. This is a true story. And I would never change that. Me, when I get my firearm back, it is here. I'm fully prepared to take somebody's life with it. Okay? I've never shot my firearm at any individual other than a target. I don't ever anticipate it. But you bet your ass, if somebody put me in fear for my life, I would take a life, no question asked. I just want to make sure I'm very, very clear on that. That is what it's there for. It's there to protect me. And if I feel that I need to protect myself, I will. These are very well people. These are people that are military trained, that are here to protect us, and here they are taking lives. I cannot fathom how that happens, other than there is a puppet master. I do believe that there is a puppet master out there. And I believe that these people, there's going to be more. And trust me, I've been in those back rooms. Some military people, I don't care whether they're military. I've heard some awful things from our military, things that disgust me from retired military. And let's not forget the Proudfoots, right? Chris and Katie Proudfoot, I believe they did something very, very terrible. I know for a fact they abused their child. Both military trained parents. Both military trained parents. Navy. And refused to help find their missing child. Literally refused to help. They want to move on with their life so flippin' bad. Oh, hey, Smiley. I do too. It's sad, but I'm not buying this lone shooter bullcrap. Okay? And I'm not going to I don't care what they want me to force feed down my audience throat. I'm not doing it. I do not believe these. I believe that these are coordinated. I believe that they are. All of this is connected. I believe all of it's connected. I believe Charlie Kirk. I believe Donald Trump. I believe all of it. All of it's connected. All of it. We have been under attack for weeks. Literally weeks. So, where am I at? So last Saturday night, September 28, 2025, around 10 p.m., chaos erupted at a waterfront bar in Southport, North Carolina. Likely the Southport Yacht Basin area. A 40-year-old man named Nigel Edge, which I heard he changed his name, a combat vet from Oakland Island, pulled up in a boat on Cape Fear River, of all rivers, armed with an assault rifle. Now, mind you, this man that drove into that church also armed with an assault rifle. He opened fire into the crowded bar in what authorities call a highly premeditated attack. It was a planned attack. Kind of funny, huh? Planned. If you notice, everybody's planned, right? It's so funny that all these people are working not in concert, allegedly, with one another, but they are all planning the same type of attacks back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I'm not buying it. And I'm not putting the tinfoil hat on because I think it's reasonable that an average Joe would consider all of these things being associated with one another. Period. So he pulled up. It was premeditated attack. 3 people were killed instantly. Another 5 were wounded. Edge was arrested a short time later. He leaves the scene, loads up his boat, and the Marines or the water people get him. The boat Marine people pull up on him. But his military background, service in combat zones, has raised questions about PTSD or deeper triggers. And I believe the puppet master would know those deeper triggers. I'm not saying that these people don't really have problems. I'm saying somebody's helping them along. Somebody is absolutely helping them along. Victims include locals enjoying a night out. One was a bartender, another a tourist. Edge didn't know them, purely random and unprovoked. This doesn't sound like military people, okay? If every single military person that had PTSD acted in this type of way, we would have a lot more shootings, random shootings. Usually they attack people they know, that they blame, or they take themselves. This is coordinated. And remember, we're going out after a lot of high officials in these alphabet soup government law enforcement agencies right now. So I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not buying into these are just lone wolf, random acts, PTSD guys. No. No. Try better. Let's do it over. These are too much. Too coordinated. Every single week. These lone wolf just pop up. Oh, they're just copycats. Bullshit. Somebody's setting them off. Somebody knows what they're doing. Fast forward to Sunday morning, September 29th. Just hours later, about almost 12 hours later to the minute, in Grand Blanc, Michigan, a quiet suburban near Flint. So this is near Steffers. Steffers has been in Flint for a while, ever since I've known her. Hundreds gathered for services at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Around 10 a.m., 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, a U.S. Marine vet from Burton, rammed his truck through the church doors. Who would think to do that? Somebody got into that man's head. Let him know, if you do this, this will take all your problems away. This will make you feel so much better. Don't you see the benefit? You'll be taking all these people out. We'll make sure you live in infamy. Do it. Do it. There's no downside to this. Just do it. Here's what you do. Go put those, make this. This will help you. Here, I got an idea, right? This is all going on encrypted messages, right? On social media. We know it's happening. I believe this is what happened. I believe the same people that targeted Tyler targeted these guys too. I think there's a puppet master. And I think he's responsible, or they're responsible, for everything we're seeing here. That's what I believe. He opened fire and set the building ablaze, killing at least 5 people. 2 found in the fire. I think 3 have been found in the fire, unless one of them have succumbed to their injuries at the hospital. Sanford was killed at the scene, probably by police or self-inflicted. We know by police. Like Edge, Sanford had no apparent ties to the victims or church. See, these people still have similarities to their case. No ties. They're military. Somebody is going through all of these different genres and just picking out the sickest ones and activating them. That's what's going on here. That's what I truly believe is going on here. No apparent ties to the victims or the church in both of these cases. He is an ex-Marine with a combat experience. Investigators are probing for his motives, but early reports point to deliberate arson and shooting. The fire traps some inside, amplifying the horror. Let's stack them side by side. Unprovoked mass violence. Both suspects 40 years old, military vet. Edge comes from combat vet. Sanford comes from ex-Marine. Both used vehicles for approach. Boat in North Carolina, truck in Michigan. Mere hours apart. Firearms plus escalation. Premeditation in North Carolina and Michigan. Random civilians in public spaces. There are so many coincidences here for these two. They're trying to show us all the dissimilarities, the things that make them different. But what about the things that make these two things so similar, as if they're coordinated? As if they're coordinated. One happens, North Carolina happens September 28th at 10 p.m. Michigan happens September 29th at 10 a.m. Suspect is Nigel Edge, which changed his name subsequently. 40-year-old combat vet. The next one is Thomas J. Stanford, 40-year ex-Marine. Method, assault rifle from boat, ramming truck, assault rifle, and then arson for Michigan. Casualties, 3 dead, 5 injured for North Carolina. For Michigan, 5 dead, 8 injured. Motives unknown, premeditation for North Carolina, and unknown deliberate / premeditation for Michigan. Ties to the military, yes, on both. Patterns scream coincidence or coordination. No links reported, but the puppet master idea, could these be activations? Could these be activations? That is where I'm going with this entire situation, because I believe these people were activated. Now, four now reported dead. This shooter drove his vehicle into a church during service, opened fire, poured accelerant, then lit the church on fire. L.E. shot him. He is a war veteran, but no hero. Who activated this man? Who activated this man? He was activated. I absolutely believe he was activated. Highly premeditated attack in North Carolina.
Reports on Saturday, December 27th, 2025 at approximately 9:30, members of the Southport Police Department were dispatched to cause of shots fired with multiple injuries at the American Fish Company at 150 Yacht Basin Drive here in Southport. Reports came in rapidly of a boat sitting in the waterway. Reports of a subject shooting multiple patrons of the establishment. Unfortunately, 3 were wounded fatally. We have 5 injured that are at area hospitals still receiving care. The boat fled the ICW toward the Oak Island Bridge. Shortly after 10 p.m., the Coast Guard observed a single individual matching the description of the shooter loading their boat at a public boat ramp in the area of Northeast 55th Street on Oak Island. Coast Guard crews detained the suspect, who was held at the Oak Island Police Department before being turned over to several members there, including the Southport Police Department, Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, Marine Fisheries, and the Oak Island Police Department. Also the SBI that were assisting us in these various locations. Suspect is a now Max Edge. He's been arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflicting serious injury.
I'm sorry, I'm still not convinced he's alone. This is all all hand in hand. Everything we're seeing goes hand in hand.
There are additional charges pending. This is still a very active investigation. But there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you today before I turn it over to some of these individuals behind me. Some facts that we have at this time is that we believe that this was a targeted location. We appear that he acted in what we call a lone wolf. We
don't believe in that.
This is highly premeditated from what we're seeing at this time.
I'll be right back, guys.
And we feel there are no other threats to our community, that we do have someone in custody. So that's what's important, that I want the community to know, that we do have someone in custody, and we feel like we have no other threats at this time.
A major development on that shooting here in Midtown back in July. The medical examiner today releasing the results of an autopsy of the suspect, who police say killed 4 people at NFL headquarters. Aaron McLaughlin joins us now. And Aaron, the suspect claimed he had CTE. Did he?
Yes, Tom. The autopsy showed the suspect, Shane Devin Tamura, did have CTE, a degenerative brain disease commonly associated with repeated head trauma from contact sports. It can only be diagnosed after death. Tamura had played football back in high school. The medical examiner says it found unambiguous diagnostic evidence corresponding with low-stage CTE. Authorities had found a 3-page suicide note in Tamura's.
Sorry about that. I had to go to the little girl's room. So I was trying to make it quick, but I didn't get back here. I gotta get back here. Sorry about that. So you guys got the gist of this article about the gunman. I'm not buying the lone. I'm not going to keep going through this lone wolf scenario. Here's from The Guardian. It's at least 4 dead, 8 injured in the Mormon shooting. The church is completely, as you can see here, flattened. I don't know if it'll let me play this or not, but if it will let me play it, it's going to be briefly.
Ever wondered about the science behind a knock? ABC Legal does more than knock on doors.
There is a couple additional bodies that we've discovered in the church. So that makes our total victim count up to 4 victims. As I said before.
We've already heard that one. And this is the one from the bar. I wanted you guys to see this.
To a deadly mass shooting at a waterfront bar in North Carolina. A suspect allegedly opened fire from a boat into a crowd, killing at least 3 people and injuring 5 others. Authorities describe the victims as vacationers visiting the bar 30 miles south of Wilmington. Police say it was a highly premeditated attack. ABC's Faith Abube is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, authorities say a deadly mass shooting that left 3 people dead and 5 others injured at a North Carolina bar Saturday night was a highly premeditated attack.
Evil has come ashore in Southport, North Carolina. This is truly a devastating incident.
Investigators say people were out on the deck at the waterfront bar in Southport enjoying live music when the suspect, armed with an assault rifle, pulled up on a boat and opened fire from the water.
Reports came in rapidly of a boat sitting in the waterway. Reports of a subject shooting multiple patrons of the establishment.
About a half hour later, authorities say they closed in on the suspect, Nigel Edge, who fled on his boat to a nearby town. They say he was loading up at a boat access. According to investigators, Edge, a known resident in Oak Island, self-identifies as a combat veteran and told police he suffers from PTSD. Today,
I believe they're given, they're told what to say. I believe if they're caught, they're told what to say. And I believe that they're being asked not to be caught alive. This seems almost jihadist, way, because in all fairness, when they go out, they want to blow themselves up too. And here lately, it seems like it's taking a lot to keep these people alive. Like Tyler stayed alive. That Mangione kid is alive, but Crooks is gone. The boater's alive, but the one from the Mormon church is deceased. They're going out in a blaze of glory, or so to speak. And I think that's been put into their brain. I believe all of this stuff is connected, and I think it's all connected through our internet. I think that our country needs to do better with over international threats and espionage. And I mean, we saw that even the Colombian president. Like, I'm sorry, the Colombian president that came over here and told our military to balk at their leaders, you know, at their the people above him, the chain of command. He should have been immediately arrested and thrown in jail. You don't come over to our country and tell people to defect, okay? I'm sorry. Even that whatever her name Omar is, she's asked people to defect. She needs to be out on her ass. I don't care if you come here. I don't care if you're a naturalized citizen. I don't care if you go through the process. The minute that you stop assimilating with America and the minute that you start changing your mind about your affiliation, that you like your country better than our country, then get your ass moving. Get out, go back to your country. And I think that anybody that holds a visa or any type of card here that is not born here, that is not a real citizen of this country, that came here for whatever reason, the minute you defect, you go. You're stripped of any nationalization. You're stripped of everything American. The minute you open your mouth in contradiction to America, you need to be out on your ass. And if anybody has a problem with it, not my problem. But I really, truly believe that that would settle a lot of the stuff going on here. But we need to also make sure that our internet is not allowing this stuff to infiltrate from these countries that want to see harm to us. We should have a block for anything coming from Afghanistan. We should have a block for anything coming from, areas of terrorism, international terrorism. Those should all be blocked from Americans' consumption. Anything that's anti-American, within exceptions. I'm not I think that, adversity helps people grow. But I'm talking about the stuff that makes people hate. That's got to go. We cannot have that being consumed by Americans, okay? We just can't. It's not literature. It's not freedom of speech, okay? It's inciting violence, and it's got to go. So I'm pretty big on that. I'm very much a freedom of speech type of person, but I also believe that there's limits to freedom of speech. I don't think anybody should be able to use their speech to cause harm to somebody else, physical harm to somebody else. Anything that could potentially cause somebody harm is criminal. So, and when I see people, even the bomb making stuff, like everybody's saying that's First Amendment. To me, in my world, I understand the educational component of it, but the harm that it can do to our country, I'm sorry, just to me, it overshadows the need of knowledge. Sorry, not sorry. I have to get back to South Carolina. I have lots of evidence. This is a spiritual warfare. The mainstream media is part of this. Mockingbird. I believe it. I believe that a lot of our mainstream media is part of this propaganda. That's why it's made such a path for people like me to come forward. We do all this stuff. We do pull stuff from mainstream media. And we also explain why we don't trust it. There are a few people in mainstream media that I trust more than anything in the world, and you guys already know those people. I speak about them often. It's Brian Enton, it's Vinnie Politan, it's Nancy Grace. Those are the people, I don't even trust Law and Crime anymore. Why? Because they have that unscrupulous PI that goes up there. Clearly, they don't know how to do their due diligence. So it makes me question their entire show. I used to like Law and Crime. But now that I see that unscrupulous PI up there that doesn't do anything but steal other people's work, and they are so stupid that they don't know that, it makes me question even Law and Crime. You very rarely see me pull anything from Law and Crime anymore. Why? Because when I start seeing them be so stupid, I realize they don't have a good investigative bone in their body. And so what do? I go to Court TV where I know the information is true, accurate, and correct. Why? Because I trust Vinnie Politan. I trust Vinnie Politan. Does he get things wrong sometimes? I'm sure he does. He's human, right? But I definitely haven't seen him bring up, fish sticks. Yeah, we'll take that. We haven't seen him bring up fish sticks. So, as long as we keep him anti-fish stick and anti-corrupted, I think we'll be good with court TV. We can't fix the stupid on law and crime, but we can make fun of it. Maybe somebody from Law and Crime will be over here and say, "Ooh, Betty makes a point. Maybe we don't need to call UPI anymore, right? We don't need to call UPI anymore. Unscrupulous PI." So, which is also known by the mob crew as fish sticks. I bet you he smells pretty fishy too. Oh, good gracious. What can I say? I chuckle at myself every now and again. Vinny is easy on the eyes. Better watch out. Vinny's old lady don't play. You know what? The quiet ones you got to worry about. Yeah, most of the people that we associate with out in the real, just remember they're taken, okay? They don't get to where they don't get to where they're at by being single. They always have to have something strong standing behind them. For the guy, it's always the beautiful woman. Bust out dance moves. It's nice to see you, Tulips. So that's kind of where we're at with all of this. Let me just keep going. We're almost done with it.
Residents in the small coastal town stopping to remember the victims at the popular local bar turned crime scene.
He really was shooting fish in a barrel, because if you ever look out there, it's a pier where the end is, and his boat was right out there. And there's nowhere for anybody to go.
They were sitting ducks. They were freaking sitting ducks. I'm sorry. I ain't buying the lone wolf. Law enforcement do better. Feds do better. We ain't buying the bullshit, okay? We can see with our own eyes and ears something is going on out here. Travis Decker, the shooter, the North Carolina shooter, all veteran services are overwhelmed, underfunded. Yeah, I agree with that. But this is not an underfunded PTSD bullcrap. This is Puppet Master. I can smell a Puppet Master a mile away, though. I'm sorry, not sorry. There's just back to back to back to back to back to back. We went from the engineers, now we're into our military. Our messed up military people. I'm telling you, these people are online or in these back chat rooms playing these games. We found the connection 4 years ago to gaming systems. We've been talking about these gaming systems for a while. The people that have been here with me, they can tell you. We don't get too political on here for this type of stuff, not since the last few weeks, but we've been talking about these gaming systems because we're trying to figure out what's making our children kill our parents and stuff like that. And I think it's the same stuff. I think they're practicing on these kids and vice versa, because these kids, as soon as their phones are taken away, they're whacking their parents. So we're trying to get to the bottom of why all these kids are doing this unprovoked. And I truly believe it has to do with this online brainwashing. They're using people to see if these things can be carried out. And when they're seeing them done, they know that they're onto something. I'm telling you, there's been testing done. But I'm not buying this lone crap anymore. This is happening way too often. It seems pretty freaking coordinated to me. And I'm not getting off of that. I thought it was pretty coordinated with Crooks. Not only that, Thomas Crooks was in the area where the CIA and the FBI was in Washington. And nobody could ever tell me why. I believe our government is involved somewhere in this. I believe it's an alphabet soup. Don't forget, we're going after the intelligence community. Okay? We took one of their leaders. We indicted one of their leaders. Okay? I don't trust our military. I trust it more now than I have, because Cash is Cash, Dan, all the people I highly respect, all the what do they call them? Why can't I think of? My brain's just going pitty-patting on me. Underdog. They were all the underdog. They were the statesmen. They were the statesmen. That's what I was trying to say. You know, those are the people that we wanted. We wanted the people that were just like us. Now, I've seen these guys at all the events that I've been going to for years and years and years. Had an opportunity, long time, when Pete Hegseth was with Fox. I showed up at SAS early. We got in because, you know, we're just those type of people that can, that get in, you know, before everybody else do without having to pay the VIP. Just saying, we do. So we were there chatting it up with Pete Hegseth at 6:30 in the morning, right after he got done with airing the segment on Fox and Friends or whatever he was doing that morning, and sat there and talked to him for 20-30 minutes. He handed me a book and signed it. And we were talking about, you know, the military forcing their, you know, obviously the military to vax. And one of the women I was with was very, very unhinged about her son being forced to vaccinate. And that was the conversation that we actually sat and discussed, was the military forcing the military to vax up. And so that was so anyways, it was a great conversation. Very, you know, he was a very passionate person, very down-to-earth person, but I absolutely believe he is right where he needs to be. But these are people I trust, okay? As soon as these people are out of office, we're going to be back at the same thing, scratching our head, wondering if we can trust these people again. I don't trust anybody. I do not trust our government, okay? I just want to be ultra clear. The reason why I'm working so hard for get these people in their positions is because they have earned my trust. I trust these people, but I don't trust anybody else. If these people come out and tell me that this is a lone wolf, well, I might have to eat that with a jagged pill. You know what I'm saying? But so far, my people have kept their mouths shut on both of these. So I don't trust what's coming out from local law enforcement. I'm sorry, I don't. If they were out here talking and saying, look, this is truly a lone wolf, I would believe them, and they know that, just like many MAGA would. But you don't see them barking. You don't see them opening their mouth. You don't see them speaking up. So when they're not speaking up, you're going to see me be very, very, very reserved in my commentary, because something ain't making sense to me. And the people that I'm trusting that should be sitting here saying, well, you know what, this is not what it looks like, aren't saying that. Okay? So I'm going to trust my instincts. I'm going to trust their lack, because you know what? They had no problem speaking up when it came to Tyler Robinson. They had no problem speaking up. In my opinion, this has been in the works for a while, starting with defunding of the police to take... Yeah, I do believe that. I think all of this is connected. I think all of this is connected for 20 years. If you look at it, what were the major things? Obama was the catalyst to a lot of this, whether you like to hear it or not. He was. He stopped... he changed schooling. So they went to Common Core. You know why they went to Common Core? To remove the child from the parent. Right? To make that child dependent on the teacher, not the parent. Why do I say that? Is because everything that we've learned up until Common Core, we've been able to teach our children and pass from child to child. You know, parent to child. When they changed to Common Core, it removed every single parent or their knowledge away from school, away from their child. So now you broke that parental child connection that they had with school. Okay, then you started telling them, you don't have to tell your parents anything. So you saw, you looking back, you see all of this stuff. Now you remove the stuff that keeps the propaganda out of our news. You see, when you're looking back on everything, you see their strategic move in every facet of our life to get to this point that we're at right now. You literally see it if you go back. And it all started with Bill Clinton, because Bill Clinton is what relaxed our mortgage laws. What did our mortgage laws do? It was the catalyst that reset a lot of American wealth. Guys, go back through your history. The foreclosure market, it reset riches for people. It stripped some people of their riches and made people very, very wealthy. And it all started with them reducing those stringent policies on mortgages, and mortgages went out of control, and people were getting mortgages 125, 150% over what their property value was. It caused the collapse in our housing market. And it caused a lot of people that were very wealthy that their wealth be wiped away. And the people like BlackRock made a killing, took the wealth of many people and put it right into the CIA hands. We don't even know what the damage from that was done. That was all Clinton. Okay, so you really go back. You want to know why I have disdain for the Democrats so much? Look at all their policies. All their policies have done has been to injure the American citizens. There is not one policy I can see where it's actually helped an American citizen. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Because the only time that they've ever helped American citizens was to funnel money away from them. Oh, we'll give them this, but we want to take this bulk over here and send it over to Pakistan so we can have it back in our secret bank accounts overseas. They've been robbing us blind. Maui fires, great example. You know, look at the fires in California. I'm sorry, I'm just not with it anymore. I'm just not with it anymore. Right now, we're dealing with something we've never seen before in our lifetime. And I believe there is a puppet master. Do not believe that these are lone. This is a lot of lone wolves all coordinated to happen, to hit back to back to back to back. And there was a lot of, planning that went into every single one of them. Man, what a weird coincidence, no? I would tell our government to try again. Do not play us for fools. Do not play us for fools. What the hell's going on in our country? Are we under attack, yes or no? Because this is feeling like we're under attack. The whole freaking country is ablaze right now. Okay? I want to know what's going on. I think our audience wants to know what's going on. This is becoming scary for everybody involved. If you found any information that was useful on this show, let me see what we got here. Do you think these two events are coordinated? 61% of our audience believes they are. I'm part of that 61%. I do appreciate for all those people that participated. Please don't forget, we do have goals. If you'd like to help this channel, you can do it of a variety of ways. The free ways are liking it and sharing it and hyping it. You can do that all free of charge, doesn't cost you a dime, and really does help the channel out. You have super thanks, super chats, super stickers that you can use. Super thanks is for after this is over with, if you'd like to. And of course, we do have a variety of other ways for cash contributions, such as PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. So the best way you can help this channel is memberships. We have very low memberships here, and a lot of people are able to be members of this coffee club, help us on a monthly basis, and it's less than a cup of coffee. So hopefully you guys will consider a way to support and help this channel from free to financial. I do appreciate it, but the best way each and every person watching this channel can do is like this. So please go out, hit the thumbs up button. I do really, really appreciate it. Next Friday is our drawing. I haven't seen any more flyers come in for Sebastian's Day. It's cut off tomorrow. It's cut off next Friday. We're giving away the Deception deck. It's only for one person. I got to talk to that one person that designed this flyer. She wants the Deception deck. We're also giving away a Bullhorn Betty item next Friday. So this is Monday. You guys got 4 days to get in. If you guys would like to be part of the drawing for a free Bullhorn Betty item, please consider doing that. I appreciate it. They are destroying America from within. Yes, I agree with that. There's something going on here, but it's domestic. I believe it's partly homegrown, but I think it's being infiltrated and exacerbated by foreign interests. I think it's a combination of everything. That's what's making it so interesting, is I don't think a lot of people are seeing. Today is National Coffee Day. Ooh, I didn't know that. I'm drinking. I got some. I'm cheating today. I got some iced coffee, and I'm drinking the whole damn box of it because I'm too lazy to make coffee today for whatever reason. I don't know. So that's where we are, guys. I don't know what's going to come next. I don't know where the next. Oh, sorry, I just got my camera. I don't know where the next attack's going to be, but based on everything we've seen for the last several weeks, I think there's going to be more. I think we're under attack. I think the conservatives and the religious are currently under attack right now by someone and something. And I do not believe this lone wolf bullshit. I'm sorry. If I believed it, I would tell you I believe it, okay? I'm not going to lie to my audience because I refuse to lie to myself. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I'm worried here. Okay? I'm not just worried. I am worried. Betty, I have a guardian of my daughter's boyfriend who I have court against because she is convinced my autistic child a bunch of BS. Then her BF assaulted me. Ooh, serious felony charges. Good. I would have throat punched him. One thing you don't want to do is I've dealt with enough. I don't even play anymore. Somebody puts their hand, if they look like they're putting their hands on me, I'm putting them on the ground before they ever touch me, okay? I know people look at me because I'm just this tiny little thing, okay? I'm barely 5 feet tall, okay? And to think that I would put a 6 foot tall biker dude on his ass, I will tell you, I will put a 6 foot tall biker dude on his ass. I've done it before. I will do it again. I'm telling you, we do not need men to protect us. We just need to learn how to utilize our bodies to cause the massive amount. Throat, here, right here, there's your lungs. Nothing protects it. And of course, you guys know the penis, okay? They always like to walk macho. All you need is a good shot, baby. He falling over, okay? It's just straight down, okay? I don't even do the side to side. Everything here, here, and here, okay? You want to talk about being able to take a burly man down? 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. He gone. He gone. Okay? You don't need to go to defense training. I just showed you everything. Okay? Straight down. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Just straight down. Now, if you want to get off, you can get on the sides. That's a little painful there, but I find out knocking the breath out of them, hitting them in the freaking throat, and then hitting them right in the lungs. They can't breathe, and then you get them in the dick. Dude, they can't breathe, and they're in pain. They fall over. It is the funniest thing you've ever seen. They go, honk. Okay? Game over. I'm just saying. Why mess with them? Don't mess with them. Don't even play with them. Just put them on their knees, look at them, walk away. That's the best thing. It's like dropping a mic, except you're dropping a biker dude. That's all. Try it. I guarantee it works. Don't be going and picking fights and don't go out getting drunk, picking fights with the big burly dude just to see if you guys can try out the moves, okay? But practice them. Practice them. Keys between the fingers. I don't like anything on my fingers. Too many. I like when I'll put them inside the palm, but nothing on the outside. I'm worried about broke nails. Don't ever put your thumb in there either. You want a broke thumb? That's a good way to do it. Okay. That's a good way to do it. Like I said, just keep it straight up and down, right there. That's your flower power right there. Okay. From here to the knees, okay? Everything in between is fair game when it comes to big burly guys, okay? And trust me, they want to act like they're tough, but they ain't that tough. They ain't that tough. I gave you guys my secret sauce. I bet you guys try to use it. You'll be like, damn, Betty's right. Try it. Try it. Don't say I never gave you guys nothing to use to defend yourselves with, okay? I was so mad and upset. People were blaming the wrong... I was too, because I'm kind of like, they're so eager to say that one of them's MAGA when it's not, and it's just like, I just want to prove to everybody that this is left-wing violence. And when we got people from the military, which I know why these last 2 were exactly, that's what makes me believe these are strategic, and what makes me believe these are coordinated, and what makes me believe that there is a puppet master, because of all the rap it was getting. It's like, okay, well, let's get these guys going out there. Let's blow their mind, right? And, everybody's like, oh, well, the parents are major. And it's like, well, we dealt with that with Tyler Robinson. I don't want to hear the parents are MAGA people. The parents and children are 2 totally different people. What I'm seeing on the outside of his house is a Stop Trump sign. That's what I'm seeing. And then I have people sending me that he, of course, once again, has donated to Act Blue. They're saying, I'm not sure if it's him or somebody else, but they're saying that he's even donated up to $3,000. So I'm going to look into that and see if that's accurate. This is for the Mormon Church. This is for Stanford guy. I truly believe he is. I think we're getting down to brass tacks. I think he's going to be brought up on RICO. I think that they have enough for him and the Act Blue to be brought up on RICO. I think we've got enough connections to show that Act Blue has been, has spent money to help some of the stuff that they've been doing. I think that there's enough there. I think they're putting some final touches on it, but I think there's enough there. They're following the money. I think the reason why they haven't moved forward with anything yet is I think there's more tentacles they'd like to find. There's a lot here. This man has massive amounts of money, and he's using it to destabilize the entire world. George Soros is not just attacking the United States. He's trying to destabilize the whole world, and I believe he's right there with Bill Gates. That's why I said, if you guys care about America, dump your Apple and iPhone products. Stop using them. Okay? We can all agree Bill Gates is not good for our country. So why are we supporting his attacks on our country? We are literally supporting a man that wants to see us dead. You guys understand that, right? Aw, well, happy birthday to your grandson. Happy birthday, grandson 9 today. Happy birthday. So I don't know. I think people need to start realizing what they're doing. It's time for us to go to Samsung. It's time for us to go to Android. We need to quit supporting Bill Gates. We need to quit supporting what he wants for our lives. We're paying for the kind of crap we're getting. We're paying for the kind of crap we're getting. So, choices, folks. Choices. I'm making a choice. I'm ditching the iPhone. I'm ditching the Apple products. I never liked them to begin with, but I'm definitely ditching them. Ditching all of them. So, as soon as we get through all this court stuff, I'm going to be redoing the whole office. We're going to be redoing an entire new studio. I'm probably going to change a lot. I may move into the other side of the house and move the other side of the house over here because I'll have a bigger studio there and on the other side of the house, and it'll have its own private entrance. So I think that will be kind of cool, and I can actually set it up like a actual studio, get studio equipment in there because it's so much bigger. This is just a normal size bedroom. That's like a freaking garage. On the other side, I mean, the size of a single car garage. Well, I guess it would be 2-car garage because front and back. But anyways, all right, guys. I guess we're getting kind of onto a different topic, but that's all the information we have. I'm not buying that these two gun violence, mass gun violence that had no provocation whatsoever, that appear to be completely planned by both of these military guys, planned well in advance. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that they are not connected to one another. I'm no longer convinced or going to entertain any more mass violence not being coordinated. This lone shooter crap, we're done with. Okay, government? Listen, federal government, we don't believe you. Okay? This is happening day after day after day after day. Somebody's setting this shit off. This is not a lone shooter situation. We're not going to accept it as a lone shooter situation. This is entirely too convenient and entirely too close together. Sorry, not sorry. That's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. Don't spend it all in one spot. God bless each and every one of you. You rock your Monday out, my friend. Rock your Monday out, my friend. Please don't forget to share this and give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you very, very soon. God bless.